way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too? I was gambling in Havana. I took a little risk. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this. Ha! I'm the innocent bystander. Somehow I got stuck between the rock and the hard place, and I'm down on my luck. Yes, I'm down on my luck. Well, I'm down on my luck. Oh, send lawyers, guns, and money.
It'll hit its target on a dead line at 400 yards.
Send lawyers, guns, and money. Send lawyers, guns, and money.
We all seem to be in agreement with the administration's suggestion to shift 20 ATF agents to the new Federal Drug Task Force, crack cocaine being a more pressing problem than moonshine. And finally, we have line item 48B. Now, this would allow licensed arms dealers to buy U.S. military surplus weapons and sell them for scrap metal. Mr. Bell, do you have a problem? Or were you just clearing the dust from your crops?
Well, actually, Mr. Chairman, to my understanding, the line item would allow arms dealers to buy weapons and sell them to scrap without filling out any end-user documentation. Is that correct?
What are you suggesting?
Well, I'm just curious why this particular line item would allow for a loophole in an otherwise tightly regulated area.
Mr. Bell, the specifics of the item indicate it would be a good deal for everyone. The weapons would be off the world market. The dealers would make a profit from the scrap. And miracle of all miracles, the United States military would actually make $1 or $2.
I'm not disputing the reason for selling the arms to scrap, but by completely doing away with end-user law, it would provide an opportunity for arms dealers to sell these weapons directly to terrorist nations.
Congressman Bell's right. Some kind of accountability has to be kept in place.
Well, I can see we're not going to reach an agreement this afternoon. The committee will take the suggestion under advisement. This meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, that might be the case. Very perceptive reading of a rather obscure budget item, Congressman.
Oh, thank you very much.
Nice to know somebody on the Hill is still doing their homework.
Oh, it's nice to know we still have concerned citizens turning out for committee oversight meetings.
Well, I'm not your average concerned citizen. Leonard Pesanowski, Deputy U.S. Attorney.
Okay. Tomorrow.
You want to know who benefits from line item 48B? You want to know about selling weapons to terrorists? I got one name for you. Patrick J. Mulcahy.
What do you know about Patrick Mulcahy?
He's an arms dealer. Incredibly wealthy, incredibly well-connected, and incredibly handsome from what I hear.
Legitimate?
Well, as far as I know, rumors of double dealing are a hazard of the trade in his business.
That's what I thought. All right, see what you can get on a Leonard Pezanowski.
Pezanowski? The name sounds familiar. U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yeah. Listen, I gotta go. Check him out. I'll try and call you in a couple hours. Hold down the fort. Bye.
Glad you decided to come. We have to hurry.
Hurry where? You haven't told me exactly where we're going.
I understand. I got a car out. Good night, Raymond.
Oh, night, Mr. Pezanowski.
Tell Marjorie I'm going to send her a pound of those pistachio nuts.
You like that?
Listen, Mr. Pezanowski.
Call me Leonard.
Leonard, where are we going?
Into Virginia. Mulcahy is shipping out a load of stingers. We got a roadblock set up less than 45 minutes from here.
Who exactly is we?
Virginia State Police, Customs, a couple of guys from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Technically, it's their jurisdiction.
So,
when you see how easy it is for Mulcahy to operate right under the nose of the Capitol Dome, it's going to be the shock of a lifetime. The other two guys are German brokers. They're acting as middlemen for Gaddafi. Mulcahy sells them the weapons. Fills in their names on the end-user documents. They turn around and sell it to the Libyans.
Well, if you prove conspiracy, you can get Mulcahy on a major felony rap.
Trying to prove conspiracy in cases like this is like trying to catch smoke with a hula hoop.
Well, Leonard, what are we doing out here? What's this roadblock about?
Well, this time, Mulcahy's outsmarted himself. He's got the middlemen lined up. But he doesn't have the license to sell to them.
Oh, I see, which puts them in violation of a number of state and federal laws.
Exactly.
Well, you want this guy bad.
Let me tell you a story. 7 years ago, I came within a nose hair of putting this guy away, right? He got out on a technicality. A month after that, I got a clipping from the New York Times. The headlines read, 237 villagers killed by terrorist factions. There was a note attached. Quote, I'm still in business. Unquote. You bet I want him. I want to see him in a stinking jodhpurs in a prison cell. That's all I've been thinking about for 7 years.
Must be tough on your family, spending the kind of time you do.
I don't have a family.
Well, what about that picture?
Oh, she's not my wife anymore.
Well, Leonard,
Look, it's like you said, you know, with what I do, it's tough keeping a family together. It's tough even starting one.
this is the land of opportunity, and you're entitled to a second chance. It says so in the Constitution, right down at the bottom in the small print.
Here we go. We're about to catch Mr. Mulcahy red-handed.
Since technically it's their jurisdiction, we gotta let the state cops and the ATF guys grab the glory. That's the deal I made with them. Let's open it up. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Attila the Hun, if it makes any difference to you.
Wait a second.
This is Congressman Tom Bell.
Congressman?
Got any identification?
Come on already. We ain't got time for this. Let's open it up. Let's see what's inside. Now, do it.
Do it.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is not in the business of busting watermelon farmers.
Mr. Hardwick, it isn't Tom's fault. This guy Pesanowski set the whole thing up. He used Tom's name to lure your guys out there.
This guy Pesanowski isn't even a U.S. attorney anymore. He was forced into retirement 4 years ago because he wouldn't stop harassing Mulcahy.
Mr. Hardwick, I not only intend to get to the bottom of this embarrassment, but I also promise to keep you and your office informed every step of the way.
I'll count on it.
All right. There's a piece missing here. Why would Pesanowski go to all that trouble to get me involved?
Because he's nuts, that's why.
Is he? I mean, is the guy entirely crazy, or is this guy Mulcahy, is he dirty?
Thomas, it doesn't make any difference whether Mulcahy is dirty or not. Getting involved with a lunatic like Pesanowski is political suicide. He is going to make you the laughingstock of D.C.
You know, maybe we ought to contact Pesanowski's ex-partner. His name's Dave Cahill. He's still with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Link has the number.
Thomas?
Link?
Congressman Bell, I'm Patrick Mulcahy.
I know. You want to have a seat?
I don't have time to sit. I understand you were involved in last night's fiasco on Highway 92.
I was there.
I wasn't aware that a congressman's duties included wild goose chases with mentally incompetent ex-U.S. attorneys.
Well, I guess we were both a little in the dark, Mr. Mulcahy.
How's that?
I didn't realize you were a watermelon farmer.
My business interests are extremely diversified, Mr. Bell.
Do they include selling Stinger missiles to nations on the State Department's embargoed list?
No, they do not. I've been a registered arms dealer for almost 20 years. And if either you or your Mr. Pesanowski had bothered to check, you would have known that my company has applied for a license to legally sell the weapons to which you are referring, and we have no intention of selling them to anyone on the embargo list. You're new on the Hill, Congressman. I think it'd be a mistake for us to find ourselves on opposite sides of an issue that doesn't really exist.
What are you suggesting?
Well, simply before you try me and convict me, why don't you take the time to do your own research? I'm giving a party at my estate this afternoon. If you'd like to come out, perhaps we'd have the opportunity to get to know each other from scratch.
Well,
Thomas would be delighted to come to your party, Mr. Mulcahy.
Good. I'll have my office send out an invitation. Good day.
why is he so anxious to be my friend?
Because he's a businessman, and that's the way business is done in this town. You are going to the party.
Okay. Miss Pengelly? What are you doing later on this afternoon?
You're the boss.
Good. I just wanted to hear you say it.
I don't know. I just think this vote is going to be a lot closer than Foster thinks. I mean, Webb and Ferrantino are already on the fence, and they're leaning against.
What about Bronzeman? Do we owe any favors to the construction lobby?
I found out where he's stashing the weapons.
Oh, hey, man, I don't have
We gotta
time for
move
this,
fast
okay?
and ship them out tonight.
Listen, the congressman doesn't...
If we don't grab him now, we're gonna lose the element of surprise.
Well, why surprise him? You have no real evidence to surprise him with.
The evidence was in the trucks,
There were
Congressman.
watermelons in the truck,
Oh,
man.
Congressman, you gotta believe me.
Why should I believe you? All you do is lie to me.
Oh, okay, he was tipped off about
a rope like this. You
Like
haven't been with the
something
U.S. Attorney's Office in over 4 years.
I can explain that.
There's no reason to explain it. That was lie number one. Everything else has been built on that.
Congressman, give me a second of your time. Just give me... Congressman, the fact that I'm no longer a U.S. attorney, call it a lie, call it an oversight, call it whatever you want. The important thing is,
Leonard,
we're
listen.
closing in on this
I don't
guy.
have time.
I've got incontrovertible evidence that he's stashing the Stinger somewhere on his own estate. If we don't act quick...
He hasn't violated any laws yet.
Hey, listen, you want a meeting, you make an appointment.
He applied for a license. Once he gets that license, he has every right to take
He's
possession
already
of the...
received shipment legally.
Oh, come on.
He won't have a license to sell them for
You're
us.
splitting hairs.
Tom.
Okay, tell David I'll be right there. I want to clear this up. I'm coming, okay?
All right, 5 minutes, okay?
All right. Come here. You need to step back and take an objective look at this whole thing before it drives you off the deep end.
Excuse me, Congressman, but I've already been off the deep end. The view is the same. Any way you look at it. This guy Mulcahy is responsible for killing innocent people.
Okay.
And he's been doing it with the implicit approval of everybody in this building.
Everybody in this building is doing the best that they can. Now listen, I gotta go, all right? Good luck.
You're just like the rest of these schmutz, aren't you? You're more interested in protecting your own rear end than you are in saving lives.
Okay, all right, I got it. Thanks. Let me tell you something. Whether you're right or wrong, you're not making a very good case for yourself, okay?
That ain't what the job is supposed to be about, Congressman.
Wait a minute, now where you going? I got 48 hours to nail this scumball.
Hi. Hi. You set a pretty good pace. You must run here often.
Try to do 5 miles 5 times a week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's pretty often. I'm new to the neighborhood. Tom Bell.
Hi, Tom. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Hey, you do anything like 3/4 speed?
I play racquetball at the Capitol Hill Club, 6:30 sharp. But I don't slow up. See ya.
Congressman Bell, I'm Dave Cahill. I used to be Leonard Pesanowski's partner.
Yeah?
Is there somewhere we can talk?
Sure.
You really ride this thing in the mountains?
When I have a chance, although lately most of my riding has been confined to Pennsylvania Avenue, which can be a treacherous ride in and of itself.
Well, that's an understatement.
So tell me more about this bogus company in Tunisia.
Hess had proof that it was owned by Mulcahy. He thought Mulcahy was using it to sell weapons directly to the Libyans.
Technically, it would have been like selling the weapons to himself before selling them to the Libyans.
That's right. We could have nabbed him for that. It would have invoked everything from falsifying end-user documents to conspiracy to commit espionage.
What happened?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. At the last minute, Mulcahy turned around and sold the weapons to a French group. That was his M.O. all along, these last-minute changes. I don't know. Maybe he was tipped off. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe we could have never proven the case against him.
I take it Pez wasn't as philosophical about it.
Not Pez. His whole life was consumed with getting this guy. He started following him around, and this was long after the official case against him had been dropped. Then there was a restraining order, and finally a suspension, and Pez just fell apart. Judy, his wife, left him, and he ended up, no thanks, he ended up spending about a year in a mental hospital.
He did?
Yeah, so it's been a pretty rough road back for him.
Wow.
But Congressman, for 15 years, he was the hardest working attorney in our office. Nobody had a better prosecution record. And for whatever it's worth, I think he's dead right about Mulcahy.
Isn't that Stansfield's 8 over there in the corner? I wonder where the congressman is.
Probably out in the corral, challenging the Russian ambassador to a barrel jumping contest. Pez took a picture of the three of them in a meadow. Do you recognize any of them?
No, but I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Mulcahy looks great in Armani.
Sorry. Ow.
Well, cheers.
I didn't mean to bump into you like that.
Congressman Bell, Miss Pengilly.
Pleasure.
I see you've already met my daughter, Pamela.
Yes, we've met.
She's my pride and joy. Honor Society 2 years in a row at Dartmouth.
2 semesters, Dad.
She wants to go to law school at Georgetown, but I'm not sure she's quite diplomatic enough for Washington.
Diplomacy comes with experience.
That it does. But I'm not all that anxious to push her into the political world. Honey, why don't you see if you can salvage some of those sandwiches?
Oh. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, can I show you around?
Yeah.
My wife passed away several years ago. She loved horses. Matter of fact, we first met at a polo match. Hi, Barb.
Hi.
I think Pamela's inherited her mother's passion.
They're beautiful animals.
Yes, they are. You don't seem too interested in horses.
No, I find them magnificent. I was just curious. You've surrounded yourself in such beauty. These grounds, the animals, yet your occupation, well, it holds a very dark element.
Man is a predatory animal, Mr. Bell, whether it's in the jungle or in the boardroom. Oh, you can argue degree and relativity, of course, but the system we live by in this country, a system that allows you and I to have varying points of view, by its very existence, it suppresses or devours less effective systems throughout the world.
You sound like a social Darwinist.
I'm a realist. I enjoy a certain lifestyle, and I'm very interested in protecting that lifestyle. And I make no apologies for it.
Hey, Dad.
So if you'll excuse me, I'll rejoin you in the garden.
So you're still impressed?
Well, he doesn't make my knees weak or anything.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Let go of me! You shut up. Your buddy tells me to shut up. I know what you're doing. You're stashing everything inside the stable. Hey! What's going on? Hey!
What's going on? What are you doing here? Listen, we got this man trying to break into Mr. Mulcahy's stable.
What's going on? Just in the stable, Congressman. Look in the stable.
Have the police pick him up at the front gate. I want him arrested for trespassing.
You're a killer, Mulcahy. You're nothing but a cold-blooded killer.
They can add harassment to the charge.
You want to take a look inside, don't you?
Crossed my mind.
You think we've seen the last of that guy?
I don't know.
Look at the front of that nigga. You played it.
Hey, let me ask you something. Back at Mulcahy's, how come there was no horses in that barn?
Because they were all out on the polo field.
How come there was no hay on the ground?
Just get in the car. We gotta talk.
Yes, I know it's short notice, but this is an emergency. Could you please check your license application records for a Patrick...
It's not that big of a deal, Randy. No, everything's declassified. Yeah, it's a simple munitions purchase.
That's right, Stinger missiles. That license has been applied for.
Yes, that's right. Can I get back to you? Congressman Stansfield?
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I think I do.
Then pray tell me what you think it is.
I'm looking into the misuse of licensing standards in the sale of some rather sophisticated weapons systems.
Mr. Bell, since you basically inherited your seat because of your father's illness, you may be unfamiliar with your exact job description. You are a United States congressman. You are not Dick Tracy. You are not an ambulance chaser. If you have any evidence of culpability, misrepresentation, or misappropriation, turn it over to the Justice Department and let them do their job.
Even if it has to do with Patrick Mulcahy.
If Patrick Mulcahy is guilty of anything other than trafficking in overripe watermelons, so be it. But it is not your job to indict him.
Congressman Stansfield. missed something?
The congressman and I are having a slight difference of opinion about job description.
Your friend Pez was right about two things. Mulcahy has taken possession of the Stinger missiles, and his license to sell them won't be official for another 24 hours.
Somewhere along the line, our man Pez has been getting some awfully good information.
Tom Stansfield has a point. I'm not so sure you should be sticking your nose into this.
They told Churchill not to get involved in World War II, and look at what happened to him.
Yeah, he didn't get reelected.
Deputy U.S. Attorney Pesanowski. I need to see your flight itineraries for all medium-sized cargo planes filed in the last 3 weeks.
Leonard.
Congressman, how'd you know I was here?
Cahill's wife overheard one of your phone conversations. Now, I thought you were supposed to take it easy for a few days, huh?
I don't have a few days, Congressman.
What do you got there?
It's a flight itinerary. As soon as Mulcahy's license clears, he's going to stick the Stingers on a couple of cargo planes and ship them to Panama.
Well, why Panama?
Because that's where the Libyan middlemen and their bogus company are officially registered. Same scam has been running for 15 years.
Well, wait a second. What's so special about this shipment? Why would he take possession without a license?
The Libyans got him in the squeezer. They fronted him $10 million over a year ago. He spent the money on an oil deal, but screwed up twice trying to deliver the missiles. If he screws up again, they're going to kill him.
Well, hey, well, then your problem's over, right?
No, my problem's not over, Congressman.
Listen, Leonard, if we work together, we can stop this guy.
No offense, Congressman, but you couldn't stop your grandmother from jaywalking.
Leonard, let me help you. I can get a court order temporarily grounding these aircraft.
They won't come through on time. I gotta nail them at the airport.
Listen, if you don't stop harassing Mulcahy, they're gonna put you in jail and throw away the key. Is that what you want?
They'll let Mulcahy walk and they put people like me away.
Man, we're trying to change that, but you gotta slow down. We're gonna get this guy.
Let me the hell out of here. I got a job to do.
Leonard, would you listen to me? Go back to the safe house. Bolt the door. Sit there and wait for me. Let me take care of Mulcahy. He's just gonna chew you up, man. Let's do it my way.
First time you ask for my help and you catch me on the 18th green at Burning Tree.
I need to buy a new box of golf balls, Dad.
Congressman Bell, nice to see you.
And you.
Patrick,
Glenda?
please have a seat. What can I do for you this afternoon?
Well, I'd like to have Panama declared a prohibited zone for shipments of weapons from the U.S.
That's a hefty order.
Glenda, I told him that you were the one to see when it came time to place those orders. About his manners.
Well, in certain situations, I do have the authority, but unless I know exactly what...
I have reason to believe that an illegal shipment of weapons is going to be flown into Panama sometime between now and 10:30 tomorrow morning.
By any chance, does Patrick Mulcahy have anything to do with that transaction?
How did you know that?
Because this is a small town. That's how come she knows that. No, Thomas, you were not handling this the way I told you to.
How did you tell him to handle it?
I told him to put on his velvet gloves and treat you like you were the Queen of Siam.
Yeah, that would have worked better. But it still wouldn't have changed my mind about declaring Panama off limits.
Why is that?
Whether he's guilty or not, a guy like Mulcahy is going to have an alternative route set up.
I'm aware of that. He has a bogus holding company in Tunisia, but in order to get him to use that, we have to declare Panama off limits.
I'm going to need some kind of hard evidence.
All I'm asking for is a temporary decree.
I'm sorry.
Thomas, I'm afraid you don't have the whole card for this hand. Let's go.
If I get the hard evidence.
Then you'll get your decree.
Thank you.
guns, and money.
His neck is broken. There's a large hematoma at the base of his skull and another smaller one above his right shoulder. Since he was found at the bottom of the stairs in front of his boarding house, all indications are death was instantaneous and accidental.
I don't believe it. Well, you're not going to prove otherwise.
So the guy had no family?
Just Judy, his ex-wife, and she hasn't talked to him for years.
Let me ask you something. How did Pez find out about this particular shipment? I mean, the guy's been out of the loop for a long time. I think someone tipped him off about Mulcahy's problems. That he had to take possession before he wanted to, that the Stingers were there on his property, that he owed the Libyans $10 million. I thought you were his friend.
You're way out of line, Congressman.
Oh, am I?
This is the guy you wanted. This is the guy who killed him.
Yeah, you fed him every piece of information you had. But it was all under the table. You were never there to back him up.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. He spent 10 years of his life trying to nail this bastard. It was the only thing he lived for. Can you understand that? Mulcahy was his life. Without Mulcahy, there was no Pez. I was just trying to keep him in the game.
You were trying to keep yourself in the game. By tipping Pez off, you never had to worry about getting yourself dirty, but if you ever got the goods on Mulcahy, whoa, you'd be there to collect the glory, risk-free.
Where do you get off passing judgment on me?
Because I happen to like the guy. He was a little whacked out, but I liked him, and he deserved better than you.
I was doing him a favor.
You are doing yourself a favor.
You don't know anything about our business.
The hell I don't. It's the same as mine. We're supposed to serve the people. And every once in a while, we go out on the limb, and we're supposed to take the heat for it. Are you going to go down as just another fair-weathered bureaucrat? Or are you going to stand up for your friend?
I brought along some hard evidence.
What are you? Assistant U.S. Attorney Cahill, a plane load of Stinger missiles is going to be heading to Panama sometime in the next 2 hours. I want you to declare it a prohibited zone.
Articulate your reason.
There's enough evidence in these files to prove that Patrick Mulcahy is falsifying end-user documents. He's reselling these weapons to terrorist nations.
This is highly speculative.
If that plane takes off, this thing goes from being a domestic criminal problem to an international terrorist one. Now, do you really want to take the heat for that, Mr. Randall?
Mr. Mulcahy, I need you to verify the destination on the end-user documents and sign the verification affidavit.
Okay.
How long is the trip to Panama?
It's about 9 hours.
What's this?
There he is.
What kind of grandstanding crap are you trying to pull?
This is Deputy U.S. Attorney Cahill. He has something he'd like to say.
Oh?
As of 0900 this morning, all arms-carrying planes bound for Panama have been officially grounded. It's been declared a prohibited zone.
What does this mean?
It means he's bluffing. There's nothing to worry about.
Actually, he's not bluffing. Now, these two gentlemen are registered foreign agents. You're entitled to sell them these weapons. But technically, since Panama shut down, they can't leave the airport.
You're screwing around with the wrong man, Mr. Bell.
I'm adhering to the letter of the law, Mr. Mulcahy.
He's not bluffing. If this plane can't leave the ground, you can't fulfill your end of the deal.
It's a temporary restriction. We can easily wait them out.
Mr. Mulcahy, we've invested a great deal of money with you, and up to this point, we've been extremely patient. Our patience has just run out.
You're in a bit of a pickle, Mr. Mulcahy.
Now listen to me. Your name is on that end-user document. All you have to do is take shipment in your native country.
Now, I can easily have a flight itinerary cleared to Germany in 10 minutes.
Which is all well and fine, but once they get there, the missiles can never leave German soil.
You're asking me to stick my own neck in the guillotine?
You'll get your weapons. Call my company in Tunis. Tell them to expect a shipment. There's been a slight change in flight plans, Congressman. This plane is now on its way to Tunisia. There's a registered arms brokerage house there. It's agreed to buy the Stingers. You're out of your league. You keep playing at this stage of the game, you're gonna get a nosebleed.
Excuse me, Mr. Mulcahy, is that your signature on this end-user document?
You know it's mine.
What? Patrick Mulcahy, you're under arrest for knowingly falsifying an end-user document with the intent to sell weapons to an enemy of the United States.
What is this?
Your Tunisian brokerage house was set up as a shell company to sell weapons to countries on the U.S. embargo list.
Oh, really? Well, you can't prove that.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can. My ex-partner spent 10 years gathering evidence against you, and now that we finally caught you in the act, that evidence is going to stand up.
Remember the name Leonard Pesanowski? You're going to be hearing it a lot in your trial.
You're both crazy. I'll be released on my own recognizance in 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe so, but you're going to have to pay an awful high price, and I'm not just talking legal fees either.
Sonny boy, your career in this town is over. You're about to get your first lesson in real politics.
I can't wait.
In regard to line item 48B, the committee seems to be in agreement that end-user laws should be rigorously enforced whenever there is any transaction concerning arms and ammunition, whether they be new, used, or surplus. With that in mind, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms budget, with the end-user law intact, will go before the full House with our recommendation for approval. Let us move on to the next order of business.
You know, a big part of me would like to see this thing settled outside of the courtroom.
I don't know how you feel. The fact of the matter is, we're going to make it to trial. And when we do, we got to make the best of it.
Well, don't worry about me, Congressman. Every bit of evidence in this room is going to be entered in the case against him. Okay, he's not going to be selling weapons to anybody anymore. Not as long as I'm alive.
Look at this. Wonder how that got in there. You know, I think he would have been proud of us, getting Mulcahy the way we did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he would have been proud of us, all right. Yeah, he always was a character, huh?
Yeah.
Send lawyers, guns, and money. Oh! Yeah.
Tomorrow night, will justice finally be done? Share the passion and deceit of chances at 8:30. That's right after Don Lane's guest appearance on All Together Now. And at 8, Australia's funniest home video show. But right now, there's a news update, then midday next on 9.